What's up everybody, Logan Hanks here, and today we're going to cover how to get started bow hunting or archery, either one. I don't claim to be an expert bow hunter, but I've been shooting a bow for several years now, and just archery alone is a lot of fun, and I think something that people would really benefit from. I want to cover how to get started. How do you even get started into bow hunting? And first thing you need, obviously, is going to be a bow. And I'm shooting a Matthews Halon 32. Starting out, honestly, I probably wouldn't start out. I mean, I guess it's up to you, but I know the way I started out, I actually had a cheaper bow, and it was kind of a crappy bow. But I would go to an archery shop. There's usually a pro shop somewhere nearby, and get you a used bow that the guy has looked at a lot and knows, like, you know, the limbs are not cracked. I wouldn't buy one on eBay. A lot of people I know look on eBay for stuff. I just wouldn't do it, because you don't know if the limbs are cracked. You might draw that thing one time and the bow explode to pieces. So I would not buy one on eBay. Just go to a pro shop, and, you know, I mean, if you have to, you know, don't spend, like, if you bought this bow, you're going to get a naked bow. It's not going to have sights, a rest, stabilizer, or anything on it. And a bow like this, by the time you put everything in it and get you arrows, you're going to spend close to $2,000. And that's, I mean, for somebody just starting out, that's going to be insane, in my opinion. So on the flip side of that is you can get some really great used bows. I'm a little bit biased to Matthews. It's been my go-to bow for several years now. Get you a good used bow, and I mean, unless money's no option, you can spend whatever you want to, but you can get a good used bow for about $300 or $400. And obviously then you need to get you some arrows. I'm kind of a speed guy on the bow, so I like the blue, Maxima Blues. These are Carbon Expresses. Depending upon, and again, this is why you need to go to a pro shop, because you got to find out, like these arrows, they're $350. They make 250s. They might even make 200s. I don't know. And there's even some 400s I wouldn't mind getting. But like on a bow, you've got a draw length and a poundage and everything. It's a lot that goes into this. You don't just want to go. The first bow I ever bought, I went and just got a bow. It wasn't set for me, and I didn't know anything about it, and I just started shooting, and it was a pretty terrible experience, and I did not enjoy shooting the bow at all, and I was not accurate with it. Turns out the draw length was about 2.5 to 3 inches too short for me, and so I couldn't get in a comfortable stop. You need to go get actually fitted for a bow, and that's one thing they can do at a pro shop, because you might have a 29.5 inch draw length. When you've got a longer draw length, you can actually shoot a heavier arrow, and this is all something that the guy will help you set up at a pro shop. So I guess the first thing to do is don't be intimidated by going into a pro shop and not knowing really anywhere to begin. But you'll need arrows. For 6 of these, you're looking at probably $80. You could get some probably cheaper. I like the Maxima Blues. You're gonna need on your bow. If you buy a used bow, you might can get a really good deal on one that's already set up. You gotta have a sight. We'll go over all these things, sights, because there's multi-pin, single pin, and then the magical releases. Now, I personally am kind of biased to these. They call them, I think, caliper releases. I've got a thumb release here. I don't like it near as much as I do the calipers. I actually started out with calipers. I had some really cheap, like $20 calipers, and they were worth $20. This was my second calipers that I got. They're a Scott brand, and they've been a really good caliper. I've just kind of got a lot of wear and tear on them, and I kind of wanted to try something else, so I just actually recently picked up the Spot Hog Wise Guy, the old Cameron Haynes edition here, but it's pretty cool. It's got a BOA thing on here, the BOA tightener, and you crank that to tighten it down on your wrist and it pops up. And I'm gonna say this because I felt like an idiot. You crank it down like this and it gets tight on there. Well, it really comes with no instructions. And I was like, man, this is pretty sweet. But then I'm looking, I'm like, how the crap do you even get this thing off? I'm trying to, you can't turn it the other way, and I didn't want to do something and break it. Kept looking for videos, there was none. So if a guy is watching this and he gets the Spot Hog Wise Guy with the bow on it, I finally did figure out that it pulls up. You pull up on the actual thing and it loosens it. It took me a little while of messing with it to figure that out. I kind of discovered it on accident. So if there's instructions hidden in there, then I'm the idiot that missed them. But these have been awesome. I've shot it, started shooting it with this. These Scott ones, these were good, but the trigger on this, the Spot Hog Wise Guy, it's awesome. I mean, it's like, the good thing with archery, you want to be somewhat surprised when that arrow finally goes, and you will be with this bad boy, because this thing is sweet. You need that. This right here, mine's kind of raggedy and dirty looking. That's a block. That's what you shoot into to practice. And I did not get it out of the truck, but you need a rangefinder. I mean, you can start off, I guess, without one. You can walk out, you know, a yard, if you can pace the yards out walking and shoot, but I probably would just go ahead and get a rangefinder. You can get some pretty reasonable on Amazon. I've been using I think the Halo. I bought it on Amazon. It was like $140, I think, and it's good for 450 yards or something, which you'll never shoot that with a bow. Yeah, that's the gear. Now I do got a quiver. You'll probably want to get a quiver unless you want to be trying to carry arrows in. And this is the Matthews quiver. It was pretty expensive. First bow, I probably would get the cheapest quiver I could find that will hold my arrows and is compatible with the bow you have. You can get some good quivers for probably $40. And again, if you get a good used bow, it might come fully loaded with a quiver and everything. You don't ever really know. But that's the gear. This case, this is a Cabela's case. I think it was probably, I mean, it's a Plano model. I bought it actually at Bass Pro. It was probably $100. The cases are expensive. You can get the soft cases, but I went ahead and bit off a good case because I wanted something. I mean, I spent a lot of money on this bow, so I wanted something to protect it. So you're starting out, you've got your gear, and you want to start practicing with your bow. Start out short range. 20 yards would be the max I would start at. I mean, honestly, it's gonna look really crazy, but you could even start at 15 yards, and you might even have to start at 10. It's a craft. I mean, you have to master it really, but start out at 20 yards or less. And kind of show you how I do it. Again, I am no expert, but I shoot pretty good, I think. So you got your arrow. If I don't know what kind of rest you have, I wouldn't really advise you to get a whisker biscuit. I just don't personally like them, and I know they claim, I think they steal a little bit of the speed off of the bows. So I like these drop away rests. You can see this one here. I've got a drop away in here. It's the QAD ultrarest HDX. It might even be out of date by now. I got this, I guess, 2 years ago, and got it on there. But the thing with a bow to be consistent is you've got to have the same anchor point, and it's one of the reasons why I like calipers. I actually will pull, and I put this, my main knuckle, I kind of put it right under my ear, and that's kind of my anchor point. I know I'm in the same spot every time because I tuck that in that there's like that groove right here in the back behind your ear where that bone is. I guess it's your jawbone. You can kind of plant that knuckle there, and you know, okay, I'm in the zone there. Now, you can go as crazy as you want on sights. I like a single pin sight. You can see that little pin right there, and I got a dial over here. This is the dial. I crank it. You can see the little thing going up and down in there. That's the yardage. So I have to range it, and I move that. On a faster bow, single pins are really nice because you don't have the pins piled up on top of each other. So I got it set down at 20 yards because I got my block out at 20. And you want to get in the spot here, but I put that knuckle right behind my ear there and get in my peep. And you want to follow through. Something I used to be bad about was as soon as you shoot, you want to let the bow like drop off, or lower your arm, and you want to shoot and just stay there, and then you can let it break over afterwards, or whatever you want to do, whatever your little fancy deal is. But myself, just hold it, and then when you get done, then you can just drop the bow down. But don't immediately move because you need good follow through on it. Don't grip the crap out of the bow. This is one of the things I did starting out. I thought you were supposed to you had to hold on for all might. A lot of times I only grip with my thumb and index finger, and that's even kind of loose, fairly loose there. And I'll kind of point my fingers out. I try to make it where I mentally know my hand is not tight on the bow, and that keeps you from torquing the bow left or right. A lot of your sights are going to have a level in there, like a little bubble level. If you can see this one inside there, yeah. You want to try to get that level. It's a lot of stuff to it. I mean, it's probably going to sound a little overwhelming, but it's really not once you start going. And I'm shooting, I use a peep sight. Most of you probably will too. There's a D loop, and that's what the caliper, it hooks into that D loop right there like that. You want to put your sights in the center of your peep, because if you got it off one way or another or unlevel, it affects your accuracy. And so that's kind of how I would shoot. I would shoot as much as you possibly can. So do that, shoot at 20 yards, 15 to 20 yards. Do that until you consistently put them in a group, probably about that, like that big. And I mean, you're not gonna shoot too much. Shoot as much as you possibly can. I would shoot every morning. If you had time, I'd shoot about 40 or 50 arrows through there, and do that every single morning. But that's the drill that I do. Just gonna shoot consistently, and just keep reloading. We'll shoot one more, and you just want to try to stack the arrows up as best you can. And yeah, it's fun. You'll see how it's addicting, because as you get better, it gets addicting. Yeah, I mean, they're right there. It's really, I mean, there's nothing to me like archery. I'll see if you can see the block here. I don't know if it'll zoom in and pick it up enough. It's probably, I don't know, an inch between the two or so. Slowly move out on the distance, and next thing you know, you'll be stacking them up, and you'll be having a good time shooting. And it's fun because, like I said, ammo is reusable as long as you don't destroy it in the process. And shoot, I mean, it's nothing like keep scooting the target back. Bow hunting or archery is very rewarding for me, because you can see the progress as you go. When you start out, you're gonna get frustrated as crap, and you're gonna be like, man, I'm never gonna get any good at this. You will get good at it if you stick with it. And you'll start shooting some groups at ranges that you really didn't ever think you would. So just hang in there with it, and I think that you'll really like it. If you enjoy this video, or if you got any other questions for me on it, I'll be happy to answer anything that I can. Again, I'm no expert bow hunter. I can say humbly that I have wounded 2 deer First one was from lack of preparation, and that's when I took my practicing to a whole nother level after that. Second one was from just taking a shot when I shouldn't have, and so I guess that was lack of discipline on my part. But as far as archery goes, I have shot a lot of arrows through this bow and a lot of arrows through my last bow, and I shoot pretty decent groups, I think. And if I can offer any sort of tips that'll help anybody, I'd love to do that, because I think everybody would benefit from bow or archery. I don't even want to say bow hunting, because archery itself is really fun even without the hunting aspect to it. But the hunting side of it is really awesome too, and I think I'm going to cover that in maybe the next video on as far as your stands and how to place those. But if you like this video, guys, I would really appreciate a like, a share, and subscribe to my page, and comment below. Tell me what your setup is. I mean, like I said, I'm using a Matthews Halon 32. I got a Viper sight on here, single pin. I mean, what are you shooting? You shooting multi-pin, single? Tell me your whole setup at the bottom. I'd love to hear what you guys are using. So everybody, I hope you have an awesome time.